I didn't catch your name.
That's because I didn't offer it. Right and wrong so far from this place, I don't think it factors in at all.
Well, saddle up, folks, because apparently the Sheridan-verse never sleeps. While the rest of us are out here trying to water our horses and mind our own business, Taylor Sheridan's already cooked up another spinoff faster than a saloon brawl on a Saturday night. And this one, oh, it ain't just another dusty western. It's branded, it's shiny, and it's already roped back into Yellowstone before the ink even dried on the script. Because heaven forbid we get a new story without a trail of Dutton hoof prints stamped all over it. So grab your whiskey, grab your Stetson, and get ready, because we're riding headfirst into Marshals, a show that's promising grit, gun smoke, and, let's be honest, probably just another chapter of how many times can the Duttons cheat death before breakfast. First, look at the cast. The first look at the Marshals cast, because nothing screams exclusive peek like a blurry press release and some carefully leaked headshots that look more like LinkedIn profile updates than a gritty Western lineup. But hey, this is Yellowstone country, so fans will scrutinize every jawline, cowboy hat tilt, and squinting gaze like it's the Zapruder film. Sheridan's strategy here isn't subtle. He drops names like breadcrumbs, lets the internet foam at the mouth, and sits back while Reddit threads unravel entire family trees out of one casting confirmation. The man knows his audience, obsessives who debate the significance of an actor's haircut if you told them it meant symbolic rebirth. What makes this rollout hilarious is how predictably vague yet hype-inducing it is. Patrick J. Adams? Matthew Fox? Amaya Miller? Oh sure, just toss a mix of prestige TV alumni and rising stars into the ring, and suddenly the narrative is, oh well, this isn't just a spin-off, it's Shakespeare and Spurs. Never mind that half of these names could just as easily belong to the cast of a forgotten CBS procedural once Sheridan sprinkles his Yellowstone seasoning on them. Suddenly, it's prestige television with a cowboy hat filter. We all know what's happening here. Paramount wants you so invested that you'll start emotionally attaching yourself to these characters before the first script table read is even finished. But let's be real, casting reveals aren't about who got hired. They're about the names that aren't there. No mention of a returning Yellowstone face? Oh, cue the conspiracy theories. Every omission feels intentional, like Sheridan is dangling the ultimate question. Will Casey ever see his family again, or is he too busy arresting moonshiners in a cowboy noir fever dream? That's the game. The cast list is less about what it confirms and more about what it withholds, which is genius because now fans are treating a press release like it's a national security leak. Welcome to Sheridan's Casting Hunger Games, where one supporting role headline sends the fandom into DEFCON 1. Casey Dutton's new chapter. Ah yes, Casey Dutton's new chapter, because nothing says personal growth like trading in the Yellowstone Ranch's endless melodrama for a shiny badge and a government paycheck. Apparently, wrangling cattle, dodging shootouts, and dealing with family betrayals wasn't thrilling enough, so now Casey's about to become a U.S. Marshal. Translation: he went from brooding cowboy to brooding cowboy with jurisdiction. It's like Sheridan woke up one morning and said, you know what this universe needs? Law and Order Montana Unit. And honestly, he's not wrong. It's the most on-brand Sheridan move imaginable. Recycle a Dutton, slap on a new costume, and boom, instant spin-off gold. But let's not act like this isn't a sly escape hatch for Casey's character. On Yellowstone, he's been ping-ponging between family man and lone wolf like a rodeo bull that just won't settle. Now, Sheridan hands him a new sandbox to play in, far enough from the ranch drama to avoid suffocating under Beth's one-liners, but close enough to keep fans hooked on the Dutton brand. It's a classic move. When a character starts running in circles, gives them a shiny new stage, tosses in some high-stakes law enforcement drama, and poof, the audience thinks it's reinvention, when really it's just redecoration. Casey didn't evolve, he got a costume change. And the kicker? This new chapter feels less like a character journey and more like Sheridan building his Yellowstone cinematic universe brick by brick. Casey's Marshal career isn't just about Casey, it's a springboard for crossovers, backdoor pilots, and endless special guest appearances that will keep Paramount executives rolling in cash. Casey could pop into the Madison, bump into Spencer Dutton's great-grandkids in 1944, or interrogate some cowboy drifter tied to 4-6s. His new chapter is basically a Trojan horse for Sheridan's empire. The Dutton name gets stretched thinner than Beth's patience, but who cares? This is franchise building disguised as character growth, and fans are eating it up like free steak at a cowboy buffet. The release date leak? So the release date for Why Marshals leaked, huh? At this point, it feels less like a leak and more like Sheridan's marketing team leaving the back door wide open and yelling, "Oops, did you guys see that?" Guess we'll have to talk about it for the next 6 months. Let's be real, in today's Hollywood, leaks are about as accidental as a rodeo clown accidentally standing in front of a bull. This isn't some top-secret Pentagon file. It's a calculated breadcrumb to keep Yellowstone fans frothing at the mouth while Paramount executives sit back, stroke their cowboy hats, and count the pre-sold ad revenue. And of course, the leak is perfectly timed just when fan chatter was starting to simmer down. Boom! Here comes the juicy little tidbit that reignites the hype machine. Sheridan and Paramount know exactly what they're doing. They dangle a date, get fans worked up like it's the second coming of the Dutton family. And then surprise, surprise, the official announcement will probably confirm the same thing, but dressed up as breaking news. It's PR disguised as chaos, and it works every single time. Fans treat leaks like buried treasure, but the studio's the one drawing the map with invisible ink. The real kicker? These so-called leaks are never about giving fans clarity, they're about dangling uncertainty. The date could shift, the premiere could be delayed, and suddenly everyone's debating whether Sheridan's empire is cracking under its own weight. It's like cowboy catnip. Fans argue, media covers it, and the cycle feeds itself until the official press release rides in on a white horse. The leak isn't a mistake, it's the whole marketing plan. Sheridan doesn't just write spin-offs, he scripts the fan discourse too. And if you think this is the last leak before premiere day, I've got some prime Yellowstone acreage to sell you. The tone and style of Why Marshals. The tone and style of Why Marshals, as if Taylor Sheridan hasn't already written a masterclass in gritty cowboys with unresolved trauma shot in golden hour lighting. But make no mistake, this one's being teased as a different flavor of Western stew. Less campfire kumbaya, more cold steel, tense silences, and the kind of justice that comes from the barrel of a gun rather than a courtroom. If Yellowstone was the rancher's soap opera and 1883 was the Oregon Trail fever dream, Why Marshals is shaping up to be a lawman's fever pitch, a spaghetti western laced with prestige TV polish. Think dusty badges, backroom deals, and the constant threat that no character is safe from Sheridan's trigger finger. But here's the thing, Sheridan doesn't just do tone, he weaponizes it. Remember how 1883 beat you over the head with misery and death like it was trying to qualify for a trauma Olympics? Or how 1923 slammed you with tragedy, history lessons, and Harrison Ford mumbling like he had gravel in his throat? Yeah, expect Why Marshals to lean hard into the justice at all costs vibe, making every scene feel like it's shot through a whiskey glass while someone plays menacing fiddle music in the background. It's going to be a world where you can smell the dust, hear the tension, and probably feel the gunpowder burn through the screen. The real question, does Sheridan shift gears to keep this fresh, or does he triple down on the formula that made him the streaming cowboy king? Because let's be honest, this man's shows all ride the same horse, they just dress it up in a different saddle. If Why Marshals ends up being Yellowstone with badges instead of brands, then buckle up, because fans will rage about the same old thing right before they binge it anyway. Sheridan knows his audience. They'll complain, they'll mock, but they'll show up, spurs jingling because no one else is bold or stubborn enough to keep serving frontier melodrama like it's fine dining. How it connects back to Yellowstone. You know Sheridan can't resist tethering every new spinoff back to Yellowstone like it's the mothership of some Wild West cinematic universe. Why Marshals isn't just another shiny badge and gun drama, it's a breadcrumb trail leading right back to the Dutton Ranch. Because let's face it, without a wink, nod, or Easter egg pointing back to Yellowstone, half the fan base would scream betrayal louder than Beth in one of her meltdowns. The studio knows this, Sheridan knows this, and trust me, they'll dangle those Dutton breadcrumbs like steak in front of a starving dog. And what's the easiest way to hook fans? Enter Casey Dutton, the prodigal son, the walking trauma sponge, the man who can't even have a normal fishing trip without it spiraling into generational doom. If why Marshals places him squarely in the badge-wielding, law versus chaos world, then congratulations, you've got a perfect Yellowstone artery pumping blood into this new beast. Fans won't just watch for the Marshals story, they'll be waiting for every little clue, every veiled reference, and every connection back to the Dutton dynasty, because God forbid Sheridan actually closes a chapter without sneaking in an ominous crossover. But let's be brutally honest, this connection game is both Sheridan's genius and his Achilles heel. Sure, it's brilliant marketing, like dangling shiny keys in front of a baby. It keeps the Yellowstone crowd hypnotized. But at some point, fans are going to start asking, is this an actual new story, or just Yellowstone with a different hat? If every spinoff has to be force-fed Dutton DNA, then what are we really watching? A fresh frontier saga, or a glorified family tree with extra bullets? Either way, Sheridan knows fans will rage, cry, and then binge the whole season, because complaining about Yellowstone while still watching Yellowstone is basically a full-time job at this point. And there you have it, Partners, another spinoff stamped with the Sheridan seal of don't ask questions, just watch. Whether why Marshals turns out to be the next great frontier tale or just Yellowstone in a shiny new saddle, one thing's certain, this ranch ain't closing its gates anytime soon. The brand's hotter than a branding iron in July, and you better believe Paramount's gonna milk this cash cow till the udders fall clean off. So hitch your wagon, keep your rifle loaded, and remember, out here in Sheridan country, the only law is more spinoffs, more drama, and never let a Dutton stay quiet for too long. See y'all on the next ride.